Some days I feel nothing. And then other days I feel everything. And that's what we're going to talk about today. When grief rewires your emotions and you swing between frozen and flooded, when you swing between everything and nothing, and it's like the snap of a finger and you're feeling a different emotion. Hey guys, before we jump into today's episode, I wanted to let you know that we've opened up for submissions. So if you have a story about loss, about healing, about your loved one that you lost, I'd love to hear it. And we might even feature it on a future show or maybe even have you as a guest on our show. So using the link in the description or any of the links in our bios on our socials, you can submit your story there. And I'm really looking forward to reading them. And thank you in advance for being vulnerable and open with me and sharing with me. Let's jump into today's episode. Welcome back to the My Mom Died show, where we talk about grief and we talk about it honestly. With that said, a little disclaimer that I know grief is hard. And if you're within the first year of losing someone, maybe the second or third or fourth or fifth, it's okay to not be ready to listen to this. We talk about grief, we talk about death, we talk about loss. And if you're not ready to listen, that's okay. We'll be here when you're ready. All right, let's start with the numb side, shall we? I think the first time that I felt numbness in my grief was when everything went quiet. And we've talked about this before, and I want to bring it up again. There's this numbness of just like everything feels muted. Colors feel muted. You have slow thoughts, you have flat reactions, and you're kind of in this constant state of feeling numb to everything. And I feel like I really, for me personally, used detachment and numbness as a state of protection from actually realizing and understanding that my mom died. And I want to stop for a second and just remind you that like that's normal. That's normal. And that's literally exactly what you should be feeling if that's where you're at or if that's where you found yourself. Like that's a very normal thing to feel. I remember my first birthday after my mom died, I felt like I should have felt some emotion around her not being there for it. And I just didn't. I was so numb. And it was the same thing with that first Mother's Day. She actually passed on March 31st. And I feel like Mother's Day is really close around that time, I think. I don't really know when Mother's Day usually falls, I'll be honest. But I know it's sometime around there. And I just remember not feeling as heavy or like sad as I should because I was so numb. Like I was so numb. I didn't even know it was Mother's Day. Like everyone's posting about their moms on social media and I just remember just not feeling anything at all. I think obviously I was sad, but I don't think I actually genuinely felt like a genuine feeling towards it. And I feel like this is the way that your brain is supposed to react. Like I said, this is a normal thing. This is how you should feel. And your brain really has a shock response and emotional fatigue in this. I encourage you to do your research on this and like look into actually what happens to the brain when you grieve. And we'll hopefully talk about that in a later episode, but how you're feeling in that numbness, that emotional shock is real. And it's a literal chemical imbalance that you're going through in your brain. And it's normal to feel numbness. Numbness is not failure. It is not anything but your body buying you time to heal. It's so funny. I look back on the first year after my mom died and all I did was sit on the couch and just dig into my sciatic nerve. All right. My sciatica was on level 10 because I was sitting on that couch for so many hours at a time and I wasn't doing anything at all. I think I would doom scroll, probably maybe put something on the TV, but not even really pay attention to it because I was just so disassociated. I wouldn't drink water. I wasn't eating. I wasn't showering. I wasn't doing anything at all. Literally, I was not doing anything. I was couch potato, literally vegetable on the couch. And I feel like I'm so grateful for that. So when I say that numbness is your body buying you time, that year that I spent on the couch and in that numbness was my body and my brain buying me time to understand the physical pain and the physical shift that your body endures when you experience such a traumatic thing like that. So numbness is good. It doesn't feel good. And it doesn't feel right, but it's okay. It's exactly where you should be. It's exactly what your body should be feeling. But listen, eventually the switch flips and then the volume turns all the way up. You're going from 0 to 100 like that. All of a sudden, one day comes and you're like, oh no, oh no, I'm feeling again. I actually have to deal with this. You kind of then go into hyper empathy and emotional overload. For me, I went from numbness couch potato to sobbing at the sight of my dog. Okay. And I think it's so interesting because now all of a sudden, small little things suddenly are triggering these massive reactions. Okay. My mom's favorite song comes on shuffle. I'm sobbing, crying so much on my drive that I have to pull over. Strangers just laughing. I'm sobbing. Kindness being shown to me. I'm sobbing. Every single thing is causing such a like grave, big emotional reaction. My poor ex-boyfriend probably was like, what's going on? Like all of this, like, oh my gosh, like hello. But it's just kind of crazy to think about, right? Like one day, literally light switch goes on and you're all of a sudden, all those emotions that were pushed back from that numbness are at the forefront of your brain. I remember literally walking my dog outside right after the switch occurred, and these complete strangers, a group of friends, a group of girls, were going out for the night, and they're all dressed up and just together, probably a little drunk, you know how the girls' nights go, and they were laughing, and I started sobbing just at the thought of how happy they were and how much fun they were gonna have. Like I was crying at that. It felt like I was in my luteal phase at all times. And if you know what that means, I don't want to explain it, but the girls know. This also comes with a little bit of compassion fatigue, and it's really taking on other people's pain to avoid your own pain. And I found myself doing that a lot too, to where I would see a video of somebody going through something and I would cry for them, but I was never crying for myself. Or I would cry for other people's happiness, but I would never cry for my own emotions. It's a really interesting thing because I only realized that through the work of my therapist, shout out Judy. But I only realized that through the work of my therapist and understanding that I'm having all these big emotions and I'm having emotion again. What a blessing that emotions have come back to me, but it's never for my own thing. I'm not crying because my mom died, right? I'm crying because I'm thinking about my dad sitting in the house alone without his wife. I'm crying because I'm thinking about my sister not having her mom. I'm thinking about everybody else, and I have this compassion fatigue because the skin around my heart grew really thin, and I can't not feel things anymore. So I'm constantly feeling everything, every emotion from every person around me. I am now wearing on my skin, and 90% of the time it's tears. 99% of the time it's tears. Even if people are happy and laughing, I'm not laughing with them. I'm crying because at the thought of them being happy. Really two extremes, and two extremes that I feel like happen so quickly one after the other. And it's like, how do you live between those extremes? I think there is this unpredictability with living between the extremes. You're numb one day, you're raw the next. You still have this numbness and you still have these feelings of just not feeling anything at all. And then literally for me personally, it's like I talk about numb one day and then raw the next. I'm talking numb 1 hour, raw the next hour, the next 15 minutes, very back and forth. And it's like, how do you figure that out and live between them? And then I always talk about guilt too, but you have this guilt between the two. You have this guilt for feeling too much, and then you have this guilt for not feeling enough. Not only are you jumping between emotions at all times, but you're also not able to give yourself grace because your emotions are flipping back and forth so much that it comes with this like, oh, I care too much. Oh, I don't care enough. Oh, I care too much. Oh, I don't care enough. And that's something that's really difficult to deal with too, is the guilt that comes with that. Grief is not a straight line. And especially in the season of getting out of the numbness and then being over emotional, you have to understand that it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be pretty, and it's not going to be this linear line. I say grief is a roller coaster. That's cliche as it sounds. It's the truth, especially in the season right after the light switch goes off from numbness to rawness, if you will. I talked about my poor ex-boyfriend a little bit earlier, and I want to talk about how this showed up in my relationship. I remember when my mom first passed and I was here in the house we lived together, looking back in time, I feel so bad because he didn't know how to deal with the lack of emotion, right? I think, like I said before, I'm the emotional friend, and that's what I'm known for. I'm known for showing up and giving the laughs, making people giggle, bringing the smiles, being happy coming to things. I think it was really interesting because that person was gone now. I am completely numb. Hey, Gab, how are you feeling? Fine. Hey, like, how can I help you? I don't know. I was really unreachable, even though he was so close to me. I think my emotions were so unreachable. And I think he over empathized in a way where he was attempting to over care and over help. And I think he really got into a state of numbness with me because he kind of took on my emotions through that. I can't even imagine how difficult that was for him. Like, I think in my state of numbness and in my state from going from numbness to rawness and that extreme shift, imagine being next to somebody and they're giving you no emotions, seriously, like straight face, giving you nothing. And then all of a sudden, like clockwork, she's sobbing and she can't tell you what's wrong. And she can't tell you why she's crying. It was insane for him to probably deal with. I can't even imagine what that must have been like watching me go through that and having to go through that for yourself. Grief really rewired my empathy and it made me see pain faster, but I felt like I was drowning in the rawness and then drowning in the numbness, right? And over time, I kind of started to really see the purpose of both of those states, which kind of helped me gain control of it. So I've been talking about numbness and rawness. We can call rawness over empathy, if you will, right? Numbness is rest and over empathy and rawness is connection to others. I love that. Rewire your brain to that. You're feeling numb? No, you're just resting. Your body needs to rest. Like I said before, and I'll say it again, your body goes through physical change with it too. Okay. It's an actual physical thing that you feel in your body. So numbness is rest. Over empathy and rawness is connection to people. Like I was saying earlier, I'm over empathizing. I'm seeing people smile. I'm seeing people cry, and I'm feeling so much emotion towards that. What a connection that is to people, right? Both of those things protect you and both of those things teach you in your journey of moving forward in this grief. I remember waking up in the morning when I was going through this back and forth, and I would always feel really raw in the morning and just in a weird way, really emotional at the gratitude I was feeling for waking up. But then within minutes, I was in a state of numbness sitting on my couch doing nothing at all. But now looking back on it, I think it's so interesting that I had such an emotional over empathy moment. And then my body, because it's being rewired and you're changing, it needed the numbness to rest from that emotional state. And I think that's a really cool way to look at it. If you're feeling that you're going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, the emotions that are coming back, your brain needs rest after those emotions. Your body needs rest after those big emotions. And so you're flipping back from rawness to numbness because your body needs a second to come down after that big emotional episode you just had. I don't even like to use the word episode, but you know what I mean, because I don't think it's an episode. That big emotional moment you just had, I'll say. It's important to stop labeling your emotions as good and bad. That's a really important thing that my therapist bestowed upon me. And she said to me, if you start labeling your emotions as good and bad, then you're not going to be able to feel them to their full extent and understand why you're feeling them to your full extent. And so when you're feeling numbness, that's not a bad thing. Like I said, it's your body resting. It's a good thing. Your body needs it. And the interim, if you're feeling over empathetic and you're feeling raw and you're feeling over emotional, your body needs that too. It's relearning how to handle emotion. Those things, the numbness and the over emotions, they come together and give you moments to rest after feeling something so heavily. So I talked a little bit about the physical toll it takes on your body. I want to dive into that a little bit deeper because the duality between the two isn't just an emotional response, it's a physical response that your body is having. Numbness will feel like fatigue, it'll feel like brain fog, it'll feel heaviness in your limbs. Like I talked about that sciatica, and yes, that had to do with me sitting on the couch for long periods of time, but I feel like that also had a lot to do with the weight of the numbness that was on me. When your body's numb, it's harder to maneuver and it puts more weight on your body because your body is attempting to hold you up. It's a literal physical thing. Empathy feels like tightness. It feels like anxiety. It feels like restlessness. It's so funny that those things are so opposite and you're feeling them so back and forth because it's kind of putting your body in this state of shock, which, by the way, newsflash, you're in a state of shock, right? How funny is that? Grief chemicals are adrenaline and cortisol, and it really changes how your body functions. You're in that's literally the shock state that you're in. This will also cause you to lose track of hunger. It'll cause you to lose track of time. It'll cause you to lose track of your sleep. You might be not sleeping at all, which obviously your body needs rest from these back and forth, but you might be oversleeping, which, by the way, if you know anything about me, you know I love my sleep. I was sleeping a lot. Grief is stored in your muscles, it's stored in your stomach, it's stored in your chest. It's a literal physical output. It's like an ankle sprain for your whole body. My body was almost remembering what my mind was trying to forget. My mind was trying to forget and push away all of the things that had happened, but my body was feeling that. My body wasn't able to forget that. When I think about how I started listening to my body and listening to what it was trying to tell me, it's funny because it really was that sciatic nerve. I could not physically sit on the couch anymore. My back was hurting so bad that I couldn't sit on the couch comfortably anymore. I couldn't lay in my bed comfortably anymore. The only thing that fixed it was getting outside and doing a walk around the block, moving my body. That was the first time that to listen to what my body was trying to tell me, like get up and walk around. You know, when you're really thirsty, you're hella thirsty. You literally feel like SpongeBob in that episode where he's like, water. You know, he's like, I need it. When your body feels like that, you know it's time to have some water, right? And it's so funny looking back in time, I wasn't drinking water at all. But I was crying a lot. And so I was so dehydrated, which obviously had a play in the sciatic nerve thing. But it was so funny. I was so dehydrated that I needed to drink water. And so I would go in these like moments of just like chugging water. Listening to your body helps you maneuver the emotions because at the end of the day, when you get up and you walk around the block, your emotions are telling you that you're doing something for yourself because you're listening to your body. When you drink water, when your body tells you it's thirsty, you're doing something for yourself. When your body tells you that you're hungry and you feel that hungry and you actually eat something, your brain is understanding that you are doing something for yourself. That's kind of what got the ball rolling on me getting a hold of the emotions is when you actually stop and you listen to your body and you allow that listening to your body to rewire your brain. And then those things work together. And as you continue to do that and listen and you understand how much of a difference it makes in you to do things for yourself, for your brain. I think Mel Robbins talks about it, right? How she talks about get up and walk around the block. It's doing something for yourself. And that helps your brain so much. It's just the little tiny things that you do for yourself. So listen to your body, start doing those little things and start thinking about them in that way. I'm thirsty and I drink water. Wow, I'm doing something for myself. Your brain will thank you. And your body will thank you. Your body knows the grief before your mind does. I spent a year on the couch. It wasn't until a year later that sciatic nerve got to a point where I could not physically sit on the couch anymore. Like I said, everyone's on their own timeline. For me, it was a year. I'm so grateful for that year. My body needed the numbness to heal. And when it was done healing from the numbness, it really let me know from that sciatic nerve. Shout out to my chiropractor. They work some magic on that sciatic nerve. It is easy to dread the moment that your body tells you it's time to get up and get going. I remember I did because it's going to come. It has to. It's just a matter of time. It's literally a part of the cycle. You're going to get to a point where you're going to feel again. Your body's going to tell you to get up. You're going to want to actually do it. It's okay to dread that. After the numbness, feeling again can feel really terrifying because you become a new person and you're maneuvering emotions differently as the new person that you are. And that's scary. Change is scary. I remember literally feeling like I don't even know how I'm going to react to certain things anymore because the wall around my heart is literally paper thin, like an egg roll paper. All right. You touch it the wrong way when it's wet, it's falling apart. You almost mistrust your emotions for a long time because it's so different than what you're used to. And that's scary too, like not trusting yourself and not trusting your body and not trusting the emotions that you're feeling is a normal thing. It's really scary to cry and not trust why you're crying. It's scary to get angry and not trust why you're getting angry. It's really scary to not have a hold on something that you've had a hold on for your whole life. But if I can encourage you, it's really cool to be able to almost have an excuse to rewrite that narrative for yourself. The things that used to make me cry didn't really matter, but now the things that make me cry are like so sweet. People laughing making me cry. How cool is that? I used to get annoyed when people would laugh, and now I'm crying out of emotion because how cool is it that they're laughing with their friends? What helped me accept that I could feel safely again was the fact that my emotions were coming from a good place, and the fact that I knew deep down I'm a good person that deserves to feel emotions and feel safe feeling emotions. And newsflash, you just went through the hardest thing you ever gone through or will ever go through in your whole life, and you're surviving and you're breathing. Wow, dude. You went from doing nothing on the couch and not feeling anything at all to now feeling everything. That's what really made me feel safe enough to feel again, was understanding how far I'd come and survived it. And also just like not caring about what other people thought. If I'm crying at the grocery store at something, I don't care what people are looking at me. That's such a beautiful thing to me, that I can feel emotion on people's skin so easily that I over empathize with it. If that helps you accept feeling again, I really hope it does. I really hope it does. Overfeeling is not a bad thing. Also, like, quick side tangent, like about not caring what people think about you when you're feeling over emotional. My mom always said to me, if that person doesn't know your middle name, their opinion doesn't matter. Now, I have friends that don't want to share their middle name with me, but I will say, feel what you feel when you feel it, dude. There's not enough time. And if we know anything, as somebody who has experienced loss, there's not enough time to care that much about what other people think about you. So feel what you feel when you feel it. And if anybody ever asks, hey, why are you crying? I always just say, I lost my mom and I just feel everything really differently now and really heavily all the time. Never one time has a person been like, oh, okay. And if they do have that reaction, flick them away. To bring it back around, rest and reassurance, from silence to the floodgates, to balance, to meaning. If today you are feeling nothing at all, that is okay. And if tomorrow you are feeling everything in between, that's okay too. Both states are love. One is resting, one is reaching. And I just think that it's such a blessing to be able to feel and to understand that your body in that numbness state is doing that for you. How beautiful. Anyways, dude, in the comments, tell us about where you're at. How's the numbness going? I kind of miss the numbness. Tell us about what made you cry today. What made me cry today was a text from an old teacher about how proud she was of me for my new TikToks and for this show. And so tell me about what made you cry today. Because listen, you might be able to control the numbness and you might get to a point where you can control the emotions, but you can never really control them fully. They will come at a time where you never expect, but remember, it's a blessing. I love you, dude. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy we're here together. I'll talk soon. Love you. Bye.